Mike's call sign is Cujo, and Mike is an F-16 fighter pilot, retired. You decided recently that you wanted to go public, because you were kind of encouraging doctors, to speak out about what they know about the current pandemic. And, you decided that, who were you to advise them to do that if you weren't going to take steps in the same direction? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think I would be a really big hypocrite if I'm trying to hold them to task because they don't want to blow up their gig. My gig's kind of gone and behind me. There's nothing you guys can dig and get me fired from. So I wanted to start talking about this because there's just too many lies in the world now. It just seems like everything is deceit, and it gets overwhelming. And all they have to do is go down the road that I went down, and they're going to be sitting on this side of the screen as well, because it's obvious. But the reason you don't ever look into it when you're in the moment is because you just figure the earth is just vast. You don't see curvature because it's huge, right? So you don't ever think to question it. So about a year later, one of my daughters actually said, "Dad, have you looked into flat earth at all?" And I'm like, "Come on, no." And she's like, "Oh, there's some pretty compelling stuff. I think you might be interested." And again, I had some time. So I started digging into it, and actually found, I'm pretty sure I started with taboo conspiracy stuff and seeing too far and those things. And Antarctica, really, that your video about Antarctica's closed or whatever, that was a big one for me too. But the see too far, and I never even thought to wonder what the curvature formula is, right? 8 inches per mile squared, that ain't vast, man. The distances that we were working would have made a huge difference in my visual and radar presentations on a day-to-day basis. I know that it would have. And, I just can't hop back 20 years and put it to the test. I wish I knew then what I know now. And actually, some of my goals about this is hoping that some young fighter pilot will go, "Oh, I'm going to check out what that old bastard says," and go out and do what I'm going to describe to you guys in a minute to put it to the test. Our engagements, you would have your adversary, we call them red air, and we're blue air. We're the good guys. They're the bad guys. They would split off, and they would go to a point at least 40 miles away downrange from you. And this is all in protected airspace, right? You would have blocks, altitude blocks. For blue air is 0s to 4s, red air is 5 to 9s, right? That means like from 10,000 to 14,000 feet is my airspace. It skips 1,000 feet and goes 5s to 9s. So the red air is in 5s to 9s, 15 to 19. And then it would skip another 1,000 feet. I've got a block up at 20 to 24 and so on. I got a block at 30 to 34 if I've got the airspace up there. Okay, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So everything's all sorted out so that when we come at each other at 12 to 1,500 miles an hour, then until you have complete SA on where everybody is, you don't leave your block. You stay in your block until if you go into a bad guy block, you got to know where everybody is, right? So whether you're fighting 2v2 or 2v4 or 4v4 or whatever, you kind of need to keep track of where everybody is. And that's the hard part. Air is hard. So because of this plus or minus 64 bar takes a really long time and we're coming at each other so fast, you want to reduce your scopes coverage down so that it covers it faster so you can find them quicker, right? Does that make sense? Pretty simple. Okay, here's where the radar mechanics work. Because I want to search high, right? I'm just doing 2-bar up high. So I'm going to search from, say we're at the bottom of our block, 10,000 feet. I'm going to search 10,000 feet and above, and I want my wingman to search 10,000 feet and below, right? So you do this knob on the throttle. It's called the L strobe, elevation, whatever strobe. You can roll the radar search volume up so that there's a number on the cursor, right? The bottom number is the lowest bit. So if I'm searching 10,000 and above, I'm at 10,000 feet, then the bottom number on the cursor is going to say 10,000. Now it's searching up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got 10,000 and above. So I don't expect to see anybody out there at 40 miles below 10,000 feet. What is that telling you now? I'm at 10,000 feet. I got the lowest part of my radar looking above 10,000 feet at 40 miles, but because I just ran my cursor out there and I set it there. What happened to the curvature between me and 40 miles? I would really be searching higher than that, right? If I set the cursor, the bottom of my cursor, basically level with the nose of my airplane, can you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I there and I run that all the way out to 40 miles. That the numbers change because the search volume gets bigger, but just the upper numbers are going to change because I've got this bottom set. Radar Mechanics 101, they built it for a flat, stationary Earth. There's no doubt about it. And my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow and set the bottom of your L strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same out to 80 miles. Whereas it should get bigger, right? Because the Earth is curving away. That's right there is a freaking flow killer for sure.